how is their science being done? Well, the FDA says vaccines undergo rigorous and extensive testing to determine their safety and effectiveness. Okay, sounds good, looks good, I read it. Okay, every other reporter in the world says, job done, let me put this in the paper and then call Del Bigtree a huckster. Well, here's what Del Bigtree does. Del Bigtree challenges that idea. So I looked up, how do we test? What is the gold standard for testing pharmaceutical products? It's a double-blind placebo study. Raise your hand if you understand what a double-blind placebo study is. Okay, most of us do. For those of us that don't, really quickly, when you have to get something approved for safety in the FDA, it's a pharmaceutical product. One group, in this case, gets Lipitor, the drug, and then another half, we just divide it in half. None of you know who's on which side. And then the other half gets a sugar pill painted to look just like Lipitor. You all take it, and for 4.8 years, we watch your health. And by the end of that 4.8 years, the trial is over, and we ask simple questions. Who had more cancer? Who had more diabetes? Who had more, autoimmune diseases? And if the same group, if both groups, the sugar pill and the drug group, and none of the scientists is double blind, they were blind, they didn't know who got what, the people in it didn't know who got what. If the health outcome is about the same, the drug gets approved. Really simple, that's the gold standard. Remember scientific method, that's the gold standard. When it's an injectable product like Enbrel, it's a 6.6-year safety trial with a saline injection. Definition of placebo, a product that has no effect on the human body whatsoever. All right, that's how drugs are done, and they're pretty good at it. Every once in a while, one gets through, like Vioxx. We find out they were lying even on that trial, but at least they were doing it. Now we look at vaccines. The hepatitis B vaccine. There's two versions, GSK's and Merck's. Not 5 years, not 5 months, not 5 weeks, 5 days is how long the safety trial lasted for a product we are injecting into a baby in the first 24 hours of life. Hello. Welcome to the world. You're breathing your first breath, and now comes your first sexually transmitted disease. I don't know how that makes sense to anybody, and I'm pretty sure looking out at this audience, you're a bit like me. I mean, I have ways I'm going to raise my child, but I don't think they'll be sharing heroin needles in the near future. And that's what this vaccine is for. That's how you get hepatitis B, just like you get HIV/AIDS. Same type of issue, a sexually transmitted disease. And a 4 or 5 day safety trial, and this is beautiful. So if your child died in this trial at day 6, it didn't happen. If your child develops multiple sclerosis 2 or 3 years later, which is how long an autoimmune disease takes to develop, it didn't happen. They'll say, no, the safety trials were done on Hep B. We didn't see any autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis. Who has ever heard of an autoimmune disease happening in 5 days? You don't. It's crazy. And look at the placebo group. No placebo group at all. They just, so if there was a problem, someone did die, they can say, well, children die, it was natural causes, it was SIDS, sudden unexplained death, we just don't know, and they write it off. If you don't have a placebo group to say, but nobody died in your placebo group, then they can just say it's natural causes. You've already heard Mary Holland and Kim Mack-Rosenberg discuss how some of these things are done. Look at this, polio, 48-hour safety trial for the polio vaccine. Even better, this one had a placebo. Look what they used. The DTP vaccine, the one we just discovered is killing 10 times the amount of kids in Guinea-Bissau, Africa, than those that don't get it. The polio vaccine was as safe as DTP. Great, let's put it on the market, give it to every child in the world. Does this make sense to anybody? Why are we doing this? My nonprofit has investigated this, and here's what we found. You might be told the reason we don't do a placebo study on the vaccine is because it's just replacing an older vaccine, as though the older vaccine was once tested against a placebo, so therefore, if it's as safe as the old one, we're fine. Not true. We looked. None of them. Not the old ones, not the new ones, not the future ones. None of them are ever being tested against a placebo control. So they cannot, let me make this as clear as I can. I challenge any scientist that may be here to challenge me. You cannot say something's safe without comparing it to a group that didn't get it. That's what a placebo group is for. You can say it's as safe as DTP, it's as safe as the old MMR, okay, but you can't say safe, period. Safe means safe is not getting it. And that study has never been done on a single childhood vaccine you give your children. That should bother you. That should bother you.
When vaccines are studied, the maximum amount of days that vaccines are studied are up to 10 days to 2 weeks. And unfortunately, the vaccine manufacturers pre-select what side effects they will allow to be associated with the vaccines. So if a child has a vaccine reaction that is associated with the vaccine manufacturers will decide whether or not it should or should not be associated with the vaccine. And the public knows this, and they're learning it more and more. So if your child develops seizures 5 months after a vaccine, your child is told by the doctor it had nothing to do with the vaccine. But that's not true because there are no studies to prove it. There's opinion, but there's never been a study really addressing whether a vaccination at 2 months or even 9 hours of age could be related to an event that happened months or even years later. And yet we have some of the sickest children in our country.
התהליכים שבהם חיסונים מפותחים בחברות, נכון, זה נעשה בחברות פרטיות, אבל התהליכים מבוקרים על ידי ועדות חיצוניות. התהליכים שאני מכיר הם תהליכים תקינים שיש הם בקרה אובייקטיבית של אנשים אובייקטיביים.